Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation to first of all say Happy New Year to everyone out there. And then once again, Lane and I will be bringing you another Warhammer 40K battle report. Today, it's going to be a little bit interesting. Why don't you tell what we're doing today?
Just a regular game, that's all.
Just a regular game? I thought regular games with only 2 people.
I guess it's a little exceptional today. Yeah, we're going to have a few other players in here today. We are actually practicing for a team doubles tournament coming up in about a month near the end of January, where we're going to be 4 of us on a team, and each time we play, there'll be 2 people playing 1,000-point armies together. It's a doubles tournament, but there's 4 of us. So throughout the 3-round tournament, we will play with each of our partners. I'm not sure if I made that clear or not.
Or appropriate. We'll go with that one. But seriously, we will. We will get to have a game, a matchup with one of each of our partners. How some of the loadouts and stuff like that, we're still waiting to see some of the packet to determine what we know before going to the table and information on that. But right now, we just want to get our 1,000-point armies on the table, on the channel as well, and kind of test everything out and see how things look and start making some changes with all that. This game, it's going to be January 27th at North Coast Games, right?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, with that being said, first of all, guys, as always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please turn on the bell for notification, get notified on all the content that we're bringing here on the channel, including some content for just some Death Watch here maybe soon. So maybe a little Votann.
Soon.
Working on all that. Yeah, definitely. And other battle reports and all the army content. I'm going to be messing with AdMech here a little more after my bots. My brutal bot beatdown.
Yeah, it was pretty spicy.
Yeah.
It's worth some more play.
Yeah. Oh, you're just saying that because you have a very vicious Death Watch list that you want to completely eviscerate my robots.
I do.
Just a little bit. All right. Well, with that's been said, let's go over and see the lists and the gamers that will be playing here tonight. All right, guys. DJ here bringing Grey Knights today. So I got 2 librarians on my list. Going to run them solo. Castle and Crows leading a 10-man brick of Purifiers, as well as 2 5-man Interceptors and 1 5-man Strike.
Hey guys, Zach here. I'm playing my Black Templar, also known as Sun Sentinels. Bringing a pretty simple list, full throttle, 4 ahead. Always be charging, as I said. Alright, we bring in Grimaldus and his retinue. That's 3 servitors, all with a 4-up invul. They give 3 abilities: Feel No Pain, Advance and Charge, and +1 AP. Get to choose every command phase. I'm bringing a Lieutenant with Tannhauser's Bone. Tannhauser's Bone giving me a 5-up Feel No Pain and having all damage for that character. And then bringing the best of the best for the Black Templar. I'm bringing 1 Land Raider with las cannons. I'm bringing 20 Crusaders, 4 Power Fists, and everyone else with a Chainsword Bolt Pistol and 1 Shotgun so I can advance and do actions. And I got the only Sword Brethren, 2 Lightning Claws, 2 Thunder Hammers, 5 Power Swords, and 1 Mastercrafted. And the Lieutenant too has a Mastercrafted and Power Shield. So, well, pretty tanky. See how it goes.
Hello everybody, G here. I am bringing the 1,000 Suns. I have the smallest footprint out of the 4 of us. Changeling, we're going to test him out today. I did bring the one who did nothing wrong, so Magnus has probably soaked up the majority of my points. 2 Exalted Sorcerers on disc, and then 1 on foot. And then an Infernal Master for that cheeky long spell. So we're testing it out. I think I want to beat Beast. There's a handful of things that I want to change. Maybe the changeling goes. So we'll see. But yeah, decided to bring some magic today.
Hey guys, Lane here. This is what I'm bringing today. I've got Leagues of Votann. I'm bringing 1 Einherjar Champion as my character. I've got 1 10-man of the Hearthstone Warriors. I have 2 3-mans of the Pioneer Jet Bikes. I have a 10-man, a big old brick of the Einherjar Hearthguard, the baby Terminators. And we've got 2 Sagittars as well. And then we have 2 3-mans of the Thunderkin, my little Thunder Buddies, with the grab cannons, of course.
All right. So those are the armies that we'll be playing today. I'm looking forward to this. Seeing Grey Knights bouncing around, little 1,000 Sun action there. Votann.
Oh, actually, Zach and I played in a team doubles tournament this past weekend. I took my Death Guard and he took Black Templars, and we did pretty well. We came in second, but it was really fun to see how the different armies interact with each other. I really liked how the Death Guard worked, but I want to try out Votann too. I have a lot of options. I want to see how the little dwarves fare in this as well. But.
Definitely. I mean, I really like that Zach's list is just heavy. Full throttle, gas pedal to the ground, so I can just sit in the back and tag objectives all game. Hope you brought your Game Boys because it's going to be some time. All right, well, only one thing left to do: determine who is going to be deploying first. As always, odd or even?
Even.
Hey, look at that. Starting off the new year well. You wish to deploy first or second?
I'm going to have you guys deploy first.
All right. Well, we'll be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. Lane, why don't you talk to us a little bit about what the missions are and we're playing today?
Today's deployment is search and destroy. So we have the table quarters. Our mission special rule is Vox static. This is the one where the command reroll stratagem and the new orders stratagem both cost 2 CP to use. And then our primary mission is vital ground. So in vital ground, we remove the objective at the center of the table. And each objective in no man's land is worth 5 points when you score it in your command phase. The one in your deployment zone is only worth 2 victory points. And then if you do control the objective in your opponent's deployment zone, that is worth 6 points.
All right, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what we got going on with deployment. So I'm going to actually be kicking this thing over to Zach because there's not much to say with my army. I'm doing what I usually do. Found a house and hide behind it. I have a squad of the Purifiers and one of my librarians are in Deep Strike. The one librarian does have the capability of deep striking on turn 1, so he'll probably do that. And then everyone else is just hiding. Zach, what do you got going on?
Well, I want to respect the Thousand Suns ability to just remove armor. So I've hidden my 20-man brick in the corner here behind the wall for true line of sight blocking. I'm prepared to extend out into the deployment zone if we go first, or prepared to move out and secure a flank if we go second and they try to push onto the objective.
And then you just got a big bad land raider with some las cannons ready to fire down ways when time comes.
Most likely they're going to remove the armor save on it. It's the only thing that can actually feasibly survive being shot at just through its own endurance, but we'll see.
What's inside that land raider?
Sword Brethren, murder, death, destruction, annihilation of families and children.
So regular 40K stuff.
Yes. Yeah, the 41st millennium at its finest. All right, so now let's go over here. Lane, why don't you guys talk to me about what you got going on?
So Votann, I put a lot of my Votann up near the line there. The Black Templars have a pretty far first turn charge threat, but the Sagittars and the bike squads do have scout moves. So I can fall back if we go second just to make sure we don't get charged right away. Other than that, I've got the Hearthguard in Deep Strike waiting to drop in and cook something. And then G put his Thousand Suns out there. Magnus is kind of making sure he doesn't get las cannoned right away. And then G, tell me about the characters because I'm not sure what all these characters do. They all have magic powers. I'm not sure what they are.
Yeah, the exalted sorcerers, they're pretty on disc. They're pretty tricksy. So just wanted to put them up in case we need to go run out and do something. Then the other characters are waiting. So seeing what jumps in our deployment zone or what gets close, and then just kind of try to annihilate it when it gets close. Basically, I just want to keep Magnus alive for 2 to 3 turns. So, but I feel good about it.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about going out and finding our opponents because most of these guys are going to be coming towards us.
Fair enough. All right, well, there's only one thing left to do, and that's determine who's going to go first. Lane, what do you feel? Do you guys want to go first or second in this matchup?
Oy, I don't know. Either one would be fine, actually, because I think we're prepared. If you go first and move out there, we'll be able to slap it back. We might get a few shots off. Other than the Land Raider, we don't have any targets, really. So probably actually second.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we want to go second as well in this because of some of the pickup and move abilities, and Zach's pretty safe back there. All right, let's just roll to see who's going to go first. Zach, grab a dice. Let's see what we got here. Double
again.
Sixes. All right, let's try again. Wow. Zach apparently really disagreed with my motion of wanting to go second. So he's like, no, DJ, we want to go first.
DJ, it's not about going second. It's about sending a message. It's about saying we're better than them at rolling dice.
Well, you heard it there first. Let's get over to the first turn move, but we're going to let these guys do their scout moves, and we'll get ready to start playing some 40K. All right, so before we get into our first turn, Lane had a couple things to do. He had a little scout moves, just kind of wiggled, got his guys in position. No, nothing really too crazy, nothing on the advance. Just getting ready for the next turn. Zach, why don't you talk about what we're working with here?
Well, Lane knows me, and so I mind gamed him. I put the Crusaders here, talked about charging turn 1, and then I didn't. Now I dominate this whole area by existing. If they come anywhere near this objective, See, no, you see, there's something called we're like the IRS. We're always gonna get
Hold
you.
on, we're gonna get that again because Lane doesn't have the mic right now, right? What is it? What was that, Lane?
Oh, I said I don't see you on the objective yet.
Yeah, see, I don't have to be on the objective to own something. I'm rich. See, I own it through a shell company, which is called firearms.ex. I don't know.
So what do we get for what are our secondaries we're looking at?
Secondaries are deploy, teleport homers, and bring it down. We're primed to do that on a Sagittar, and this lone brave librarian is going to deploy teleport homers, getting us a turn 1 of 6 points.
Yeah, I took the relic to allow him to do a turn first of the fray, so he's able to deep strike turn 1. I was going to be a brave boy and go into the table quarter, but I was like, yeah, let's not be that brave. And then, as Zach put it, this Sagittar is going to be another target. Move the interceptors out, jump them. They're going to be able to shoot and then scoot to move over on that objective afterwards. Just some extra fire. Maybe if we get lucky and pop that Sagittar in 1, we can put some shots into the infantry. But that is about it. So, yeah, let's get it. Let's roll some dice and see how the shooting rolls out. All right, so that was not a bad way to finish out the turn. So we did score 3 points real easily over here because the librarian does absolutely nothing and just scores 3 points. Amazing how that works. And then over here, my interceptors, which were over here, are now over behind the wall because they shot and moved over here. And notice how this Sagittar is gone after getting shot by my interceptors. It had absolutely nothing to do with them. Zach, what really happened?
I looked at it.
Land Raider.
Eye of the Jaguar, so to speak. 4 las cannons.
The 4 las cannons you only hit with 1. It was that hunter killer
I hit with
missile.
everything. I wounded once.
Okay, there it was. Yeah,
the hunter killer missile did do work though. It did 5 damage, and then 5 damage from the las cannon. But you did 1 wound, so it mattered.
Oh yeah, I did do 1 wound.
Yeah.
So all right, that is going to finish off our turn, and we're going to pass this over to Lane and G and their turn 1.
All right, so on our turn, our 2 secondaries are extend battle lines and storm hostile objective. The Hearthkin warriors that got out of the blown up Sagittar, they were able to make an advance onto this objective. They are OC2, and these guys, the interceptors, are only OC1, so we do take the objective. So we have successfully stormed a hostile objective. And extend battle lines, we just have to hold one in no man's land, and also our deployment zone objective. So we do score that as well. And then we also kind of moved out here. We got the bikes, the Pioneer jet bikes with their 12-inch move, got onto this objective. It does put them in a bit of a threat range from the Crusader squads, but we wanted to get a few units out here to shoot this librarian. We were also very careful not to move within 9 inches of him because he would just jump away. So we moved everything out here to hopefully all these units here can kill this single librarian. But we'll be back after our shooting and see if we do it. DJ is suffering from the classic painted model syndrome. His brand newly painted librarian was the first model to die. So we picked up the librarian.
This is why I can't have nice things.
Right. Stop painting new models. We're just going to kill them. So a combination of this guy doing Doombolt and then using Cabal points to jump over here. And then the Thunderkin firing at the librarian was enough to kill him. Other than that, we just scored our points for secondary. So we will get 10 on secondaries for extend battle lines and storm hostile objective. And the rest of the army has just been kind of staying out of shooting range from the Land Raider. We don't want to get a las cannon quite yet. Let's see what the guys do on their turn.
All right, so now the game has really begun because the purifiers are here. So, kind of feeling like a little bit of a meat shield right now. That's okay. We're scoring some points as this big Doomsday squad here still sits still. Zach, what's going on here?
Well, my Sun Sentinels have decided that the Grey Knights have more money and therefore should invest in that property over there.
Right, more money. We have 1 planet.
Yes.
So we got secure no man's land and area denial. And so what we're going to try and do here, well, we currently score both of these secondaries. So now it's just a matter of doing some damage. Mm-hmm. So, Zach, what are you going to be working on this turn?
My Land Raider is going to pick up the bikes.
Pioneer
Right?
jet bikes.
Yep, that's the intent there, right? We're going,
definitely.
Yeah. That way they don't hold an objective. We only scored 5 on primary. We're going to hold them to 5 this turn. And we're going to try to kill those Thunderkin with the Librarian. We're trying to bleed out
damage to him. Yeah, the Librarian, since he's doing area denial, it's not an action. So he's going to be able to try and put some damage into them and pick them up. And then over here, the Purifiers have spent a command point so they could drop within 3 inches. So we now took this objective marker, and they're just going to try and pick that they're going to pick that sorcerer up real quick. Then over here, we'll see how things go. The interceptors are going to shoot at the little Hearthkin and take them out and take the objective, and then probably bounce back behind the wall.
Right, and we made sure to block out Lane's Terminators, or what are they called? Hearthguard. They're big part of his play. It's unusual for me. Usually the game's decided by turn 2 with Black Templars, but I have to respect the Thousand Suns' ability to just remove armor saves.
Yeah,
I have to hit them first, otherwise it's over.
Big mamma jamma right there. So, all right, let's do some shooting and see how this plays out. All right. Well, Zach, was that what you were hoping for?
No. Dice be dice sometimes, and Las Cannons sometimes just don't got the power to kill little bikemen.
Yeah, we left one alive. That's a sad face. But you know who actually really did worse? Not only did he only manage to take out one of the Thunder Buddies, he hurt himself in the process, and with his own vortex. So it looks like we're going to be at 0 librarians at the end of this turn. Over here, though, the Purifiers do what Purifiers do best and just picked up that Sorcerer and took that objective away. So much like Zach was saying, we were trying to start out the turn. We were going to try and hold Lane and G to a 5 on primary as well. And over here, the Interceptors were successful in shooting down the little Hearthkin warriors over there. And even though you don't see them, they're just hiding behind the wall. Oh, they see, there's a grudge token hiding back there. That's where they are. Because they were able to kill them in the shooting phase, so then they were able to move back. So now at least we're not going to take some extra damage. So although we're losing the Libby, most likely, probably, maybe his armor be true, we did score pretty well on secondary. So we're keeping that up, and we're just going to hope that maybe they draw some bad cards and try and move this game forward. All right, that's the end of our turn. Let's kick it back over to Lane and G.
This turn we pulled Cleanse and Tempting Target. So we advance the bikes up here to get onto this objective. These interceptors are only OC1, so the bikes take the objective, and then they have shotguns that are assault, so they're able to advance and do the action as well. So because we control it, we do Cleanse there. Then over hither, the bike stayed where it was. The Sagitar moved forward and disgorged its little men, the Hearthkin, little men and women and little robots. Get out of there. And they're OC2, so we do actually take this objective from the Purifiers on the other side of the wall. And then the bike will be staying here just to do the Cleanse there as well, now that we control that. And the Tempting Target was declared to be this one?
Nope, 5.
This one. We take them both, so we do score Tempting Target there. And then we're just going to do some shooting. So we move Magnus up in the middle. He might have something to say about the 2-up armor on that Land Raider. And then the Hearthguard dropped in to see if they can do some work. But we got lots of little sorcerers around here. So there's a lot of stuff that can go into the Land Raider, and maybe some things can go into whatever might come out of the Land Raider. Because there might be some scary stuff in there as well. So here we go. We're going to shoot. All right, so the shooting phase got some work done. Magnus, with his infinite power, did take the save away from the Land Raider, and it has no invuln. And for the first time, I think, in 10th edition, the Magna Rail popped off. It's kind of difficult to get the Magna Rail, the handheld Magna Rail range, because it's only an 18-inch range. So we had to very carefully make sure we got within 18 of the Land Raider.
Adjustments.
And then, but it did hit, it did wound, and because there's no armor save, it went on through. And then we had some other shooting here, but really it was the Hearthguard did a whole bunch of damage. It did pop off the sustained 2 strat for them because it was a target with judgment tokens. So they did the rest of the wound. It's much easier when there's no armor save on a Land Raider. So we did pick it up there. And then one of the Sword Bros that got out did die because he did roll 3 1s on his emergency disembark. So one of them did get picked up. And then Magnus and these wizards up in here. I don't remember what the names of these guys are. But, G, what did they do?
Should one more be dead? 4 total?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you had the characters there.
That's
So it's
4
11. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So they just did some Witchfire spells after Magnus did his Gaze and Zeechan's Firestorm. So just some psychic shooting attacks.
Yeah. So in total, we picked up 4 of the Sword Bros, which is helpful because they are chunky boys at 3 wounds, but they are still super strong. So even 3 or 4 of them can do a lot of work. So as a result, our boy Magnus is going to try to make a charge. We measured it out here to get past the terrain. He needs to roll an 8 on the dice. So G's going to throw us an 8.
Is there a defensive or shenanigans? I'm going to fight first.
Contempt and fight and death.
Okay.
It's a 7.
You want a command point it?
Oh, no, we can't.
No, because it's 2 CP.
Oh, 2 CP.
I don't want to. No,
You don't
no,
want
no.
to?
Yeah.
No.
Because you're cowards?
Well, with 1 CP, I zero out some damage if I want. So that's fine.
All right.
All right, that's it for a turn. We do score well on secondaries. Got 10 because we cleansed in 2 places, and we did tempting target. We picked that up. So.
Yeah, we got our points, so that's really what matters.
We got points, and then we'll see how hard these boys are going to slap us back.
All right, so we got assassinate and storm hostile objectives. So I am going to be doing the storm hostile objective part of the show. Purifier's moved out, and they're going to try and see how much they can clear, split firing and doing all sorts of damage all over the place on all these crazy little Votann. And then over here, the interceptors came out. They're going to shoot. The strike landed. They're going to shoot. The interceptors move from the corner, move back here. They're going to shoot, and we're going to see if we can't pick up most of these bikes so we can take this objective back and not have to charge them. Last for the Grey Knights was the librarian who landed, and he actually is going to be able to draw a line of sight and hopefully not blow himself up. And he's going to go into Magnus. We're going to, right after Zach talks about what he's doing, we're going to roll that one on camera. Because so far, I rolled a 1 to hurt himself. I'm hoping for that 6, baby. 2d6 mortal wounds. Oh, boy, that'd be nice. All right, Zach. Now, why don't you talk about it? What you did here? What you're trying to do this turn?
Kill the Psyker.
Kill the Psyker, because we got Assassinate. So
Burn the Heretic. Kill the Dwarf.
What did you do for your turn?
I have a ability called Fervent Acclamation. If a unit has a character, which my sword brethren do, they can activate another vow. The vow that I've chosen to activate in addition to my 6-up Feel No Pain vow is the Anti-Psyker 4+. So all my weapons have Anti-Psyker 4+. The Lieutenant has given them lethal hits. Magnus is oathed. So 6s to hit are lethal. 4s to wound Magnus. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, there is one special dice roll I want to make on camera, just in case, because this is going to go one of 2 ways, I'm telling you. Either I'm going to roll a 1, and I'm going to blow up my librarian, or I'm going to roll a 6, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. So
This is a psychic shooting?
This is a ability. This is just a straight ability that I roll a dice with my librarian.
When does it happen?
Shooting phase.
Okay, so I can spend 1 CP for psychic dimension.
So here we go.
What does that do?
Rolling the dice. Ready? Oh, no. So I'm only going to do 2d3 mortal wounds, and then we'll continue on. I was just going to stick there for the 6. So we'll continue on and see how the shooting phase plays out. All right, well, that was a productive shooting phase on the Grey Knight side of things. So over here, we picked up most everything over here. The Thunderkin, the Hearthkin, the Jetbikekin, all of it's gone. All of it's gone, except for this one little guy. One little guy, he's going to get run over real quick in the charge phase because we're good and close, good and close. And then over here, the interceptors are back behind the wall. They shot, jump behind the wall. They shot, jump behind the wall. And then these guys earn themselves a judgment token, finishing them off with their side cannon. Speaking of judgment tokens, these guys got 2 judgment tokens right there, right off rip. All right. Now, Zach, what you got going on?
I shot pistols at the little Psyker, and now I'm gonna charge the big daddy of Psykers. Kill him, break G's spirit, and hear the lamentation of their children.
So who is going to be charging? Just the Shield Brother?
Just the Sword Bros. I chose to keep these guys as 5-up Feel No Pain. I have a little bit of a plan. I'm gonna kill Magnus real quick, right? I'm gonna touch this squad with 1 guy, make them pile in and get ineffective combat, and then they have to fall back or they have to stay in combat with me. So,
all right. Well, since you're on my team, I am hoping all that is going to happen.
Oh, Lane, the look of fear on Lane's face tells me he knows it's possible. He's seen these guys in action.
It's possible.
No,
It's also possible you roll average dice.
It's average dice for me.
All right, let's do some charges and see how this happens. Well, that was a sad, sad attempt at a combat step. I mean, for us, G and Lane are over here smiling. Look at that. Look at that. Lane can smile. G is very happy as well. Sorry for my laundry room and the effect. But yeah, over here, charged in, tried to have this like the interceptors pick up that little dude, and yeah, he's still there. And then just smack the Sagittar for nothing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we did take the objective though, which was the primary thing. And then over here, oh Zach, tell the tale. Tell the tale of the tape.
Magnus is down to 4 wounds, and the Psyker did not get touched by my lightning claws. There is sorcery afoot. I intend to kill them in their own turn. Worry not.
Well, we'll see about that, because speaking of own turn, that's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to pitch Assassinate for the extra command points so that we can play on the defense, but we did get Secure No Man's Land quite wholeheartedly. So, all right, we're going to hand it over to Lane and G and see how they play this back.
This turn, we pulled Investigate Signals and deploy Teleport Homers. So G is going to be doing the scoring with a few units, and I am going to be doing killing, and G's also going to be doing some killing. So, but this little guy here, the Changeling, is going to be scoring us Investigate in this corner. We don't really have any other corners. For 1 CP, I can fall back with one of my units and shoot. So I could fall back with the Sagittar to do it, but he doesn't get quite within 9 inches of the corner over there. So we're not going to do that. And then this guy, I don't know, sorcerer, magic dude.
Yeah. Magician.
This little magician, he is going to do Investigate Signals within 6 inches of the center. We use this metal coin as the marker for the center because we do not have an objective in the middle. And then it's just going to get to blasting here. I move these Thunderkin around so they can see out through this and see these fellas here, because the Crusaders are 22 strong at this moment. So they get D6 blast shots. I'm going to get a lot of extra shots with blast. And then the Hearthguard are going to be doing their work as well, shooting there. And then depending on how well Magnus's psychic powers go, or psychic attacks go into these guys, the Hearthguard can either charge them or charge the remaining Crusaders. So let's throw some dice and see what happens.
All right, Lane, let's talk about it. What's going on here? What's going on?
You see, the grenade launchers on the Hearthguard are D6 blast, and we are shooting a unit now that has 18 models in it. So I rolled a D6 for each of the 10 guys, and then +3 for each of those guys. So it's 10 D6 plus 30 shots. So this is my number of shots. We're going to be hitting on 2 because we're Hearthguard going into a unit of Crusaders that has 2 judgment tokens. So we hit on 2s.
And this is all this right here. We're talking about these guys right here.
And we popped off the sustained strat, which is sustained 1, but if the target has judgment tokens, it's sustained 2. So every 6 will be 2 additional hits. And again, we're hitting on 2s.
Because we're on the
so we should have more hits than we had.
I'm helping him.
Attacks.
And this is just one gun on them? No, this is
I also have the plasma guns on them, which are 1 shot apiece, but AP3, 2 damage. So we're just starting with these. So here we go.
And what do you? So what do you need?
So 1s miss. Each 6 will be 2 additional hits.
All right, we'll come back after this gets resolved. So to resolve that out, basically, out of all those dice, 3 of them went out of the pool with a sustained hit.
Yeah, I rolled a lot more 1s than 6s, but
my dice failed. My dice failed, Blaine. They know. They know better.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot more
you
beards.
need 2s, 3s to win.
3s to win. These are strength 4. He's toughness 4, and 2 judgment tokens. So 3s to win. So we'll pull out the 1s and 2s.
Ooh.
And then Zach will just have to make his 3 up saves because there's no AP on this.
All right, let's get that pulled out and we'll see what happens. All right, now there's the
well,
ones.
I guess we added up for posterity's sake.
Yeah, that's cool. And then how many? These are AP.
AP nothing, 1 damage.
Okay, it wouldn't really matter much because Zach did spend the 1 command point to armor Katap. So
also uncover.
How many do we get out of this? G.
So these are pools of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 31.
31 wounds.
So I guess he fails 10. And then
all right, Zach
takes 6 or 7.
Here's your moment of truth.
3 guys die, maybe.
Sorry, man. I'm on the camera.
Left? You wanna see?
We'll
want to see how?
We'll see the magic.
So 1s and 2s he fails.
All right, here we go. Here's all the saves.
My scouts have more machismo than this.
We're looking 3 ups.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, pull the dead devil. 4.
Oh, it's actually pretty
5, 6.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
That's 1/5, and then I have feel no pain.
And now the feel no pains.
Okay, I gotta get blades.
There you go.
6 is 2, so I lose my 2 scouts.
Oh man! Oh
Well, you still
man!
have plasma or
Weather the
something.
storm.
Yeah.
All right, so now we still got some plasma going in here, but I wanted to show that massive pool of dice that Lane just accumulated there. All right, let's see how the plat will come back after Lane does his plasma.
All right, so after the shooting phase, and the models moved a little bit here because we already rolled our charges, but after the shooting phase, Magnus was able to do some work and pick up most of the sword bros. So there are only 2 left. I think that's a lieutenant and the sword bro, right?
Yeah.
So 1 sword bro and 1 lieutenant, and then the shooting. It took a lot of effort, and you saw one of our dice rolls there with the volumes of dice, but we were able to get the Crusaders whittled down here a bit, and then the Hearthguard are going to put some hurt on there. There'll probably be a couple left, but not that much. Sadshar didn't do anything shooting, but definitely killed some and sacrificed our secondary here just to get some extra attacks in. This guy, this little magician here, did pick up 2 more guys, which is valuable. 2 more of the Crusaders because we need them to go away. So on to our fighting. We have made our charges. This wizard was pulled out of combat due to shooting, so he now completed his charge. And then the Hearthguard charged in. And there's just one. It's Grimaldus, but there is 1 guy left. So I use the strat for Votann to increase the AP on my close combat attacks by 1 for each judgment token. So my concussion gauntlets on these guys were up to AP 4. Because of that, Zach chose not to Armor of Contempt. Instead, he did the Fight on Death, which did kill 1 guy, right? So he did lose 1 guy to that. Now, I Void Armored as well to reduce the damage or reduce the chances of me losing guys. So he did Fight on Death and kill 1 of my guys, and then Grimaldus was the last model left and swung into me, but didn't do any damage there. And then here, the Sword Bros and the Lieutenant were picked up. Over here, my Valiant Sagittar did 1 damage, but took 4. So he's still there with 5. The lone guy from that squad is dead. Unfortunately, they are maxed out at 2 judgment tokens, the Purifiers, so they're going to stay there. But so very satisfied with the amount of damage. However, it did cost us scoring. We only get 2 points for investigating signals in 1 corner. So, and we're kind of hurting for primaries as well. But we can just play to try and score and try and even out the score a little bit because we've killed the big units. There's still some stuff on the table. It's still an interesting game. Now it's just a matter of can we get the points because they definitely have a lead on us as far as primaries. All right, on to Zach and DJ's turn.
All right, some good news and some bad news. Bad news: the Black Templars are completely off the table. Hellbrick, was it? Grimaldus tried to desperate breakout because we got engaged on all fronts and got overwatched into oblivion. So now it's on the Grey Knights. Now the good thing is we've only lost 1 model, and that's that Librarian I lost at the beginning of the game. So I still have some resources. We got engage on all fronts and capture enemy outposts. So I'm in position with engage on all fronts with the Interceptors on the corner, the Purifiers hanging out over here, and the Strike that I picked up and dropped down. So we'll get the max on engage, and then we're going to try a long bomb a charge. Got 1 command point for the turn. We're going to see if we can jump in there and try and charge and get the... oh, wait, it'll be 2 CP. So it's just going to have to be 1 shot at a 9 to try to charge that sorcerer and steal that objective for capture enemy outpost. Otherwise, we're going to try some little tricky shenanigans and see if we can't do some work, because now this is a vehicle, so I can target it. This is a Librarian, and he hasn't done much all game. So we're going to try and see if this Librarian can't pick up this Sagittar. 1 dice to determine it all.
Wait, DJ, why would we kill the Sagittar when we can kill Magnus?
Because if I kill the Sagittar and take that out, that unlocks the Purifiers, who are all within 12 inches of the Hearthguard, and anti-infantry, and ignore character.
Yeah, but Magnus is on 2, and that's
Magnus,
on 5.
I'm going to be putting Stormbolters and Side Cannons into him and hoping for the best.
Magnus probably did.
So, here we go. Let's see. Librarian.
So you want a 1 here, right?
Show me a 6.
It's out of the box.
Show me a dice in the box.
Show me a 1.
That's a 4, so that's 2d3 mortal wounds. That's enough. 5. Sagittar down. All right. Does he explode? No. All right. Well, we got some more shooting, and we'll be back. All right. So that was not the most damaging turn, although we did pick up the Sagittar. That was pretty much where the beginning and luck of the turn ended. We failed the charge, so we did not capture enemy outposts. So we will get the 5 on engage, and we were only able to pick up 1.5 of the Hearthguard. being that I'm AP1 ignoring cover, the armor of void armor of contempt style strat that they have kept them alive into it. We were able to bring Magnus down to 1 wound, so he's right on that cusp, but if he ain't dead, he ain't dead. And then the Interceptors went back into hiding to hold their points, so that's where we stand. Still holding them to only a 2 on primary, and we'll see how Lane and G answer back and what I'm going to be able to do.
Okay, so after the movement, and our secondaries this turn are engage on all fronts and no prisoners. So we moved the Hearthguard forward. I lost a couple of them to Overwatch from the Purifiers, and then the Purifiers spent another CP to pick up and disappear. But we had planned it out that this little magician here is going to be able to scooch over using a Cabal point. He gets a double move and get onto that objective for us. So even though my Hearthguard don't get a chance to shoot there, they will shoot at this librarian here. And then we just kind of scooched everybody around to take shots down here, try to score those no prisoners and remove assets. We're going to try to take them out. Our big boy Magnus, with his 1 wound left, is over here to make a charge into these Interceptors. And then we're just scoring engage with this other guy on the disc by getting him over there. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of shooting, and that'll be our turn. Okay, not a whole lot of action in the shooting phase. So we did pick up the Libby there with the shooting from the Hearthguard. Other than that, made a couple charges. It just weren't enough to kill for our no prisoners points otherwise. So we got this strike squad down to 3. And Magnus just rolled a couple 1s and got these guys.
A lot of 1s.
A lot of 1s. Too many 1s. So that's it. We score 5 on engage because we did get in all 4 quarters. And we only got 2 on no prisoners because we only killed 1 unit that Libby over there. So on to the final turn.
All right, time to make Zach's valiant death worthwhile. We got to finish off Magnus. He's got 1 wound left. We got to remove him. So for this turn, the final turn, we got behind enemy lines and cleanse. Cleanse is basically impossible. There probably is some really weird long shot that I could score it, but it's not worth it. So we're not going to worry about cleanse. Instead, we're going to just try and remove this entire side so that Lane and G cannot score really well on primary, and that involves killing Magnus. Over here, we're going to leave the strike in combat so we don't accidentally get flamered by a changeling, and we're just going to try and hope that at least 1 guy, only 1, has to live. And then we will be able to score a couple points for behind enemy lines. So that's where we are at, and we're going to do some shooting and see if we can't send Magnus back to the warp. Well, that did not go well. So we tried everything. We put the Purifiers, we put the strike, the Interceptors, we did it all, and Magnus survives with a single wound remaining. So that's going to be the turn. I will get 3 for behind enemy lines because over here, since Magnus struck first, we struck over here and took that Sorcerer, sent him out of here. But Magnus still remains, which is going to be bad juju for the points, for the scoreboard. And that's going to be it. We're going to shift it over to Lane and G for the final turn and see how it finishes up.
All right, so our secondaries for the final turn were behind enemy lines in area denial. We did spend the 2 CP that takes to cycle 1 out because we got overwhelming force and there was only the huge squad of Purifiers on an objective. We didn't think that was worth it. We didn't think it was possible. So we spent the 2 CP because of Vox static mission rule, cycled that out and picked up behind enemy lines, which also was not a great one. So what we did was we just moved into the center to pick up area denial. We made sure we had this objective, our home objective, and Magnus standing tall and proud with 1 single wound left, holding this objective for us, meaning that at the end of the game, the Thousand Sons and Votann teamed up to score 62 points. The Grey Knights and the Black Templars teamed up to score 57 points. Very close game, but we have a victory for the Thousand Sons and Votann. Follow us over to the post-game battle report, guys, and we'll talk a little bit about it.
All right, guys, that's the game. Unfortunately, the good guys didn't win, and pesky Xenopsychers and Votann, which are probably just being, mind controlled or something. I figure that's probably how this went down.
Yeah, we're in it for the profit.
Final score, Votann, Thousand Sons, 62?
62.
62. Imperium of Grey Knights and Black Templar, 57. All right, so again, like we were discussing, this is going to be a tournament that we are going to, and this is the team that we will be going there with. These may not be the armies 100%. We're tweaking them. This is our first outing. We're going to do a couple more games and switch it up a little bit. Let us know in the comments section if you like this, because we actually discussed possibly doing this once a month, just bringing some more thematic lists, maybe. We'll instead of Votann and Thousand Suns.
That's perfectly thematic, right?
Yeah. What?
I'm pretty sure Magnus isn't getting drunk with no dwarves.
What are you talking
It's
about?
pretty good
He's-
ale. It's
he's-
pretty good ale.
Let me explain. Right, Magnus, who hates Russ, is like, I'm gonna be better than Russ. So he went to the best drinkers in the universe.
Sam's going to have something to
Votann.
say to you.
Yeah, well, Sam can say what he wants because he got drunk under the table by a dwarf.
But speaking of which, we're talking a lot about Magnus. Magnus was pretty much, in my opinion, the MVP of this competition. How did you guys feel generally? How did you feel about using him? G, I know that you love Magnus. Lane, you're not a big model type guy. Talking about.
I'll go if it's. I do like him. I loved him so prior, but for this event, I was considering cutting him because I can go Vortex V's Aramon or him. So, but he really was worth the points. He lived. He really did some damage here and there,
Stuck around.
but he stuck around. And I normally actually I'm happy with 3 turns of Magnus.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that he got to play the entire game was
Well, late into the
Really
game,
good.
it's really difficult to get by some of the resilience that you have, especially with it's like, okay, I have this re-roll here that I can use. And one thing that we were limited to is having to spend 2 command points on it, where you're just spending cabal points.
yeah.
So that was huge to be able to keep him alive. Then being able to zero out, and towards the end, it was just a matter of resources. I was able to put a volume of hits onto him, but then again, without those things, now you can correct any mistakes that happen, any bad dice
the
roll.
fact
you're
that
able
I
to get
let
through.
a 2-up save, you need 6s to wound, 0 something out,
Right.
reroll something for free.
Right.
It did help, it did help. But so yeah, it did. I was worried at the beginning. Zach was talking like nonsense. It was this almost like this voodoo,
I left
gibberish.
him at
He
2
was
wounds.
very assured.
Yes,
Yes.
so
I
confident.
broke Magnus's back. He was 2 wounds.
I think he broke a nail. Yeah, not his back, a nail. So
I don't think there's any Black Templars around to report back.
Then
about
that's-
the condition of
Yeah,
Magnus.
And that's actually, let's segue over to that, Mr. Zach. So your Templars were gone by the end of the game.
yeah.
they were gone by turn 4.
They're
At
gone
the
by-
end of the game.
But you basically were hit by nearly 2,000 points.
Yeah.
I mean, you took the brunt of both of these armies on both extents. You had your Land Raider reduced to no armor and just poured everything into it. And for the most part, though, that allowed, like as we
Just
said,
a hard time.
I lost 1 model
Mhm.
into that point of the game. And at that end, when the Black Temple were gone, the scoreboard was very much so in our favors. Going and looking at that for what the plan was, is there anything you think you would change?
I'd put the 1 lightning claw I put into the other character into Magnus, therefore killing Magnus.
Okay.
Yes. And then because we get 5 points for assassinate and Magnus isn't there, we win the game. It's glorious. Beautiful.
You did split fire when you went into Magnus
Yes,
with your
so regardless of what anyone says on the internet, never split fire, just run through
It's
Magnus.
funny. When I moved that guy up there, I was like, yeah, he'll take this bait. I know he'll split. And I was like, just 1 or 2 guys is all I need.
Right.
It was all it was.
And hey, I got to disagree with the split fire. I cleaned up all that in objective split fire and
You
going, I'm
didn't
going to
kill
do this,
the-
this,
you didn't
this,
kill
this.
the Hecaton. I mean, the Sagittar.
I didn't shoot at the Sagittar.
But you split,
It took you
split fire,
2 turns to kill that last remaining dwarf because you
Listen.
insisted on punching him with a guy with no weapons.
Yeah, overkill is
Flamers.
the only kill in this game, right?
Yeah.
Overkill.
So the lesson is next time I see a big creature, I don't grab his little friend next to him. I kill the big creature, then grab the little friend after.
I think, though, we also force you to charge on our terms. Like, I went up there to nuke the Land Raider to, and I knew you were coming, so I set it up. So, we set that up. So,
I mean,
you really didn't get to dictate the fight. And then the fact that you stood around with the other unit, you gave them a 5-up save or whatever, and they stayed there.
I
think that was a
the,
Mistake, potentially.
you did make me charge on your terms, and I didn't want to give them too much space, the Hearthguard too much space. I wanted to keep you bottled in, So I had a choice of making a very bad charge, because they could advance and charge, right?
Yeah.
But as Lane pointed out, I wouldn't get a good base in to melee range with them, so he would just get free pummels into me.
But he got a free shooting attack versus a fighting attack, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I actually think at that point you kill Magnus too, like if both those units. That's the only thing I was
That
worried
might
about.
be.
And once you didn't
That
do
might
it,
be.
I
Yeah,
felt good about it.
that might have been the call. Was just to run, throw them both in there, and then just
for the extra dice.
just for the extra dice.
So now, Votann, we were looking at Death Guard before this, and then last minute you called an audible and said, "Hey, I'm going to bring dwarves." And one thing that was very interesting was the random CP generation. All of a sudden, like, hey, by the way, boom, here comes a whole bunch of command points, which that was. I definitely know you guys enjoyed having that extra command points. That was a lot of fun.
We ended the game with 0 command points, I think. So we used every one.
Yeah.
And because of the mission with the Vox static and the extra CP, we had it for an extra 2 CP reroll if we needed it. So it was really important. In this game, the way this tournament is set up, you treat your army as if you're playing a 1,000-point game. So in a 1,000-point game, Votann can only mark 2 units with 2 judgment tokens at the beginning. So I can only do 2.
And with
But
that,
it's
we
huge.
only get 1 command point per team. So that's a big part of it too. So it's not like Zach didn't have a command point and I had a command point to spend. We had 1 command point per side to spend for our entire turn. And a lot of our armies have things that we want to do defensive and offensively. So it's like, okay, well, where can we do this? Where can we do? I mean, how many times were we looking over at someone? Zach's like asking me, like, can I spend it on armor contempt and stuff like that?
Yeah, like we actually talked about it before the game. We were like, one of our big worries was, I was like, I think turn 1 we want to try to just ditch a card to get the command point generation going, so that we both players can have something.
And instead we just played defensively and
You guys
ended up
got good
generating.
cards though the whole game.
Yeah, we couldn't.
We didn't have
early.
a bad
We
turn,
didn't.
so like, and we had one turn that was really bad, and I actually think the Vox hurt me a lot because I had to rely on that free reroll with the Cabal points now. But imagine if I had a CP reroll guaranteed plus that, like it. Yeah, it would have been much better.
That's definitely the one scenario where a CP reroll. Like I always say, that CP reroll is a trap. You want to stay away from it. Like you end up just funneling command points into it. But in this scenario, when Magnus was able to do what he was able to do, having the command point to do in that reroll, and then you have a free reroll, and then you have ability to zero something out, just makes it that your opponent has to dedicate way more resources than they want to eliminate one.
The fact that it wasn't an
unit.
option was a big deal. Like
He's roughly around 400, isn't he?
330,
might be 380, but he's right in that column.
Yeah.
So, but Votann, that was real interesting.
I mean, especially the thing to talk about with this is the synergy between the 2 different armies working together. The fact that Magnus or any of your sorcerers can take away an armor save to give an opponent 0 armor save, and the Land Raider has no invuln save. So when you take it off the Land Raider and it's a 0 save, that means it's much easier for the Votann to do the work to kill him, especially because I put 2 judgment tokens on it. So I was doing, anything would have, most of the stuff would have been wounding on 4s. And then he doesn't get an armor save. Yeah. And that's huge in this game. When, your armor of contempt relies on an armor save, your cover relies on an armor save. So you're not just taking away the armor save, you're taking away those things too. Right. So it's a huge benefit to Votann being able to pick up that Land Raider.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the outcome of the game is less important. The fact that we know that we have this synergy with these 2, right? So Votann stays, Thousand Sun to stay, like, because
100%. The ability to be able to remove armor saves, that's going to be very, very critical.
What units I play is the only question, but we know that that's in there. So, like, we know that this works, and I think it works in the most armies. Like, imagine if it was against knights or etc.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
They're real good, right? Yeah. So, and now we know that now it's time to test the waters with what I imagine no armor save.
Oh,
plus X plus whatever army.
Plus 100 chainswords. Yeah.
Like, what's the worst army in the game right now?
Eldar.
So, like,
there's.
Like, if I just remove their save and then give me the worst army to shoot, it should probably still nuke something.
We just run at Eldar. We just run, and then that's how they can't handle aggression.
And last, but certainly not least, let's talk about the Grey Knights. Let's talk about what the Grey Knights brought into this matchup and what the Grey Knights
What
did.
did they do?
I thought the Grey Knights did what they were supposed to do in our matchup, which
Score
is
points?
Yeah,
Run away?
well, yeah. I
Score
literally
points,
Run away,
score
score points, right?
that was the whole.
Hide,
Yeah.
run away, jump, score points. Yeah.
I mean, you probably like the Black Templars to stick around a little bit longer than what they did, but the fact is that they tied up our damage output and tied
You
up. And
forgot
actually,
you forgot one thing. We did this once in a while and hurt ourselves. Did damage
You hurt
ourselves.
yourself.
Yeah.
They sell Magnus. And like, oh, okay.
Yeah. but
You're like,
The
great.
fact that
A
you have
real
no
psycho.
anti-demon ability is utterly befuddling to me.
Oh my gosh, I know.
But yeah, there was times when we made the decision not to score secondaries because we had to put damage into the Crusader
Turn three,
squad.
that was a
yeah.
big turn.
We didn't do deploy teleport and homers in the middle because we knew we had to take care of that Crusader squad. So in some ways you were reducing our ability to score because we knew we had to take care of that.
That was
or else it would take care of us.
I mean, but again, now as much as G wants to harass me about running and hiding, hey, that's how it's played, man. That's how it's played.
I mean,
listen. In the
points
fourth
win the
quarter,
game.
listen
Points
in the fourth quarter when you got the lead, you take a knee. That's it.
That's a
You
lot.
know?
You always go for the two.
So, but
Points win the game. The thing is, we were Steph Curry, and we're just hitting threes. Now we played a different sport, and then we started shooting threes while you were on the taking the knee.
Yeah,
And then-
I
so-
LeBron'd it. I broke my ankle.
You, I for sure thought you guys were winning because you were constantly scoring points with all the moving and shenanigans. So
That's a lot of mental pressure, especially with the Black Templars coming at you in your face. Like you
they
have
didn't come in our face, so they didn't do anything. So like that was a good relief, right? Because the Black Templars didn't show up, they really didn't do anything, but they lived, but they didn't kill anything. So that helped. You did damage, but they literally killed nothing. So the Grey Knights cleaned up really everything.
Oh wow, I did not kill
You
anything.
didn't kill anything.
No,
like literally,
did not.
you didn't take a single bite off the table.
No,
So-
I did. I killed the Sagittar.
this is true. The
Yeah.
lads cannon killed the
Yeah.
Sagittarius.
Alas, cannon. Yep.
And I think a guy died in the
The Land
explosion,
Raider,
too.
which is a generic Space Marine unit
Yeah.
that any Space Marine army can take.
Yes. Yeah.
So
But again, though, the Grey Knights, that's the point.
that's what
behind
they do. Yeah.
And again, another big thing too was how much you were able to spend the command points.
Mhm.
I didn't really need a lot of them. Every
That's good.
once in a while.
Having an army that really isn't CP reliant in this type of event where there's a different teammate each round is really good. So I think that's super valuable to know. The fact that you score a lot of points and you have this movement abilities built in, like I think Grey Knights should be considered. We're locked in with T-Suns. I would really consider locking in Grey Knights.
I feel that way too. I think that even though I lost the Libby early with that, it was still the capability of I have this small base model that can just go anywhere I want. I can spend a command point and go bam. Like if we got that early engage in all fronts, I can pick that up. If you had that one character or there's something low on OC there, I can spend one CP, land within 3 inches, and score capture enemy outpost on turn 1 by just letting the librarian say, okay, please don't roll a 1. Please don't roll a 1. So there's some plays with that. So, I mean, that really is a very, 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 very strong army for what we're trying to do. So basically, I think that's about it. We got a lot that we're going to be discussing, working on, talking about. This is a lot of fun. On the outside of it, G and I were talking about this. This would have been a fun game to have live, just for all the back and forth and the banter between us, but not even just the joking banter. This was a different realm of competitive talk and thought going into this, which actually made this a very, very intense and very close game. I mean, the score shows it.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 5-point game. And like we said multiple times, the assassinate, if the character died, that's 5 points. Magnus getting shot down, that's 5 points. There was multiple opportunities that 5 points. And granted, I'm picking the ones that we're thinking about. You guys go back over it. I'm guaranteed there's other things as well, too, that you guys could have done and potentially been other little points throughout the game.
I don't know if Magnus lives. I don't know if they ignored to deploy telephone homer like they did.
Potentially, yeah. I don't
And
know. That's different.
I'm sure the audience will pick up some mistakes or found a play that we
This
didn't
is
see.
very new to us. So the
Right?
the two
So, like,
style.
Yeah, so I'm open to it. Like, this is maybe my 5th game of 10th edition, so like they may be able to see something that we missed that we may be able to take to this tournament at the end of the month. So
And hey, we got footage to go over too.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think we'll try. Like I said, we'll try to see if we can't get something together again. Let us know in the comment section how you like this game, this battle report. I think this is something we want to try and do once a month. Get it together and maybe switch it up. Do again more thematic styled armies in a way. And as well, we got the tournament coming up that we might switch it up. You may actually see Lane and me on the same side. Blasphemy.
Maybe.
Blasphemy.
Maybe.
We're still.
Well, the big thing is if we get to do this again with the Thousand Suns and the Grey Knights teaming up, that's blasphemy. But
That's
we have to make sure it
wow.
works. So.
That's blasphemy. Blasphemy. Man.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.